that's messed up. It feels wrong to write. And I mean, this is a necessary reflection in order to be able to get over it. Oh, just get over yourself, guy. Anyone that has that kind of perspective, just get over yourself, you're demonstrating that you lack humanity. You're demonstrating that you lack empathy, and such people should be cut out of your life. Or at the very least, you shouldn't take them seriously, because they're not taking you seriously. So show them some reciprocity and ignore them, because they're certainly not paying you any mind if they are dismissing your genuine feelings. Genuine feelings, not whining, not making excuses, considering what is it that you genuinely feel right now. It's a very mature question that very few people can approach in a mature way, but it is something that you have to reflect on in order to manage your emotions appropriately. And what is motivation if not an appropriate management of one's mental states, which greatly hinges upon emotions. It also greatly hinges upon socialization, which is why I seek a healthy amount of positive socialization through going to yard sales, as quaint as that seems. Okay, so when I look back on writing, nothing makes me feel better about what I'm doing in the world than that inspired sense of writing something meaningful that conveys an aspect of humanity that I want to share with others, that must be shared with others, that reaches something genuine and captures it in words, and feeling the confidence that someone could look at this and they could feel something that could change their life. That is an incredible sense of genuine fulfillment from writing. And I don't know what I have to do to shake this numbness, frankly. Whenever you talk about being numb, people don't take it seriously either, because there's a lot of self-numbing that goes on with people seeking out distractions, or people just being out of touch with reality. People deliberately trying to be out of touch with reality, so that they don't have to feel anything genuine. But you need to be in touch to be able to create and convey those genuine emotions. And I'm just trying to get back into that headspace, and part of that process for me is talking through it. That's one of the reasons I do these recordings. And acknowledging, yeah, I've had stop and go failures in the past, but that doesn't mean that I'm destined to forever be a failure. I've laid a lot of groundwork I know how to write, I know how to plot, I know how to plan these things. I just need to cut out interruptions. That's the big thing, is I need to cut out distractions and commit to that and not be so anxious, which is more vague guru advice, but it's within the experience of it that it can be made more tangible. That's the only thing that makes these conceptualizations tangible, is by living through them. What does it mean to just do it, bro? Well, the first step is emotion management, which expressing things helps to clear the air. I guess that's part of why I'm doing this recording as well. It's just clear the air to get rid of that mental block, so that I can have my mind clear enough so that I can write without the emotional caltrops catching into my feet and causing me to emotionally bleed all over the page. I hate that. When I was, so I do reading and reviews for independent authors, and not so much recently because the health problems that I've had with diet and all that, destroying my ability to focus. But when I'm editing amateur writers' works, and I'm not like, well, we're not going to go into it. Most of it's like just being a beta reader and giving feedback on stuff. So it's very obvious when someone like breaks character or they're like injecting some personal insecurities. It's like okay, we have a spooky mystery novel going on, and then someone brings up daddy issues. It's like, girl, you got some red flags going on in your work. You need to edit that out because that's really taking away from the story. But the reason why that authoress, the reason why she wrote that was because she had a very strong emotion that she wanted to convey. It was not appropriate to put that, to inject that side comment, side conversation that had nothing to do with developing the plot, nothing to do with developing the characters. It just completely detracted from things to bring up the whole daddy issues problem. But she needed to express that to someone. I'm not going to say it's a cry for help. No, it's a human thing to want to express powerful emotions. But the thing is, when you're writing, is that you are taking a window of that. It is curated. It is edited out heavily. And you have to recognize what's appropriate for coming together and creating this whole experience that you have. And when you're writing, it is a stop and go kind of thing. You don't write well, theoretically you can write an entire book. Excuse me. Theoretically, you can write an entire book in one sitting, but that's not how it usually goes. You write in sessions. Maybe you have a bad session where something goes really emotional. And I recognize that when I have bad writing sessions, because I do look at them as learning experiences. And when I was editing just before the health problems I had, I recognized a huge portion, 9,000 words of a very long writing session. It was a day's worth of writing, and 9,000 words in a day is an amazing day of work, where I was really emotionally heated about certain mental health concerns about broader society and perspectives on mental health and socialization. And I had a lot to say, and it was wonderful writing for talking about humanity and mental health, but it was not appropriate for talking about language exchange, which was the topic of that book, is technology and language exchange. So even though I had this very long diatribe where I'm like, I can't use any of this towards my word count for this, but maybe I should shoehorn it in because this will help me get my book done faster. No. I already have, so this is another thing where mistakes add to your resiliency. Every mistake you make and that you can own adds to your resilience. I look at this and I go, I already have millions of words that I don't have published. At least 1 million words that I don't have published. It's fine to put this to the side. I can put this with the other thousands and thousands of pages that may or may not see the light of day, but it's fine for me to move on from this and go, okay, I have categorization systems for mental health. Okay, specifically we're talking about connecting with people online and the issues that you run into with whatever. I have like subheadings and things that I can organize bits and pieces of writing by theme. I go, okay, I have my file drawer for that. I can put that away, and then when I want to write about that topic, I already have this. It's not even on the back burner, it's in cold storage. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be cold product when I'm putting together a wonderful feast of ideas where that could serve as the main course, though this is not. I have to recognize that different kinds of topics are appropriate in different settings, of course. But again, it does bother me that when I'd be reading amateur fiction, someone injects personal issues into it. It's like, I don't want to demean the importance of that emotion or of that experience to you. I don't want to demean it. I do want to recognize that that's a strong emotion and you need attention for it. And it's not bad to need attention and validation. No, it's human to need attention and validation. But it might not fit in with the story that you're writing. And your story might be better from taking out those emotional issues if they don't contribute to the development of something meaningful in the story. But to avoid that altogether, super long roundabout way of saying, to avoid that altogether, you need to have an author, someone who is engaging in writing, someone who is engaging in any artistic process, has to engage in expression outside of just their writing in order to clear the air so that they can breathe freely when they're actually creating, when they're actually in the creative process, to have the true creative process, to really enter the flow state without those mental caltrops catching into your feet, stabbing into your feet, and slowing you down. You have to sweep it away. And with me, part of that is through talking. And I realized that over prior to the diet problems and the exercise problems I had, prior to that, I was talking to a lot of friends online fairly often with like voice chat and everything. And that's something that helped me to feel very motivated. And I wanted to do a whole lot of work. I wanted to bite off more than I could chew. And I gradually withdrew from that as my mental energy dwindled more and more. And as I am kicking back up into full gear, as I'm returning to a full state of health, I'm able to communicate verbally without constantly being impulsive. That's probably my biggest issue, is I would sound very abrasive. I would be very rude unintentionally, just because emotionally it's very hard to regulate your emotions when you're in a lot of pain. And I try and recognize that in other people. It doesn't mean that I can solve all of their problems for them, but I try and extend understanding to that of maybe this person isn't a bad person, and maybe they're not angry at me if they're in pain. They might be trying to communicate in good faith, but failing because of something like, oh, they have not been eating correctly and they've been getting very poor sleep, so they are suffering a massive amount and they can't string together a coherent sentence to save their life right now. But for someone to be able to recognize that in you and to extend that understanding, then they would have to know you for a significantly long amount of time to know, wait, something's not right here. But they would also have to care to the degree of being there by your side through those difficulties. So I withdrew from people because I recognized how I wasn't contributing positively to the interactions that I had there. And that was when I was able to engage well before having the diet problems and a lot of pain problems there. That socialization is how I was able to express a great deal of emotion. I was able to clear my mind of just feeling socially fulfilled. See, part of something that I'm realizing a lot more apparently now that I'm getting my diet straightened out is the feeling of being satisfied. What does it mean?